friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. Today, the most unholy of videos. The 50 most popular cologne fragrances ranked from worst to best. Yes, 50 different clones. Now this is not scientifically done, okay? So I basically just went through everything and I was like, yeah, that one's popular, until I got 50. Because I don't know how else you would do it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure that there's a way to scientifically deduce, well, there probably is, but I'm not doing it, what the most technical top 50 are, but this is pretty close. And before I jump into this, I want to say all of these are good. Fragrances generally don't become popular unless they smell really appealing. Like, you can count on probably one hand the number of fragrances that are truly popular. I'm not talking about popular within the tiniest subsect in the universe. I'm talking like actual popularity. You could probably count on one hand how many fragrances are actually popular that the majority of people would be like, ugh, this stuff sucks. So let's rip right through them. Number 50, Lattafa Cod Al Frisson. Look, something has to come in 50th, okay? Something has to. And I know that this is popular for a good reason. It's really cheap. That's gonna be one of the main reasons. But it has a nice pineapple kick that a lot of people really enjoy, and a lot of people will take this and layer it with other fragrances as well. For me, I think just everything this is up against, it comes across a little bit thin and not quite as interesting as most all the other fragrances. I'm sorry, bud. I said something had to be in 50th. I'm not sure Craig the table is up to this today, man. 50 fragrances is gonna be out here. 49. This one, Insurrection Pure 2. Gotta say, at one point in time, this was the stuff. This comes from a time before when a lot of cologne fragrances were absolutely horrible. I'm talking truly grotesque. You still have people time and again nowadays who will be like, oh, clones, they don't smell that great. But like where they are today compared to where they used to be, huge difference. This is from that time period. And back then, this stuff was fire. Like 25 bucks or so. Presentation actually looked good, still looks good. And the fragrance smelled wearable. It was actually something you could pull off. It's just compared to most everything else out nowadays, it's not quite as good. 48, Roll It 1 by Jo Milano. Now this is a good fragrance. This one smells really nice. It's a clone of God of Fire. The main issue that I have with this one is it's just way overpriced. At full retail, it's absolutely absurd. I realize that nobody is buying this at full retail, or they shouldn't be. There's gotta be at least like one dude out there that did, whoever that is. Why? But even at discounters, this is oftentimes sitting at like $80, $90. You can sometimes find it at like 60 or 70, but a lot of places are gonna have it in that 80 to 90 buck range. And just at that price point, it is way overpriced. So I have to put it down here. If we're talking just the fragrance, it is good enough that it would be higher, but when you factor everything else in, it drops down. After that, this one right here, Celestial by Emir, which is Paris Corner. Now this one smells good. It's a clone of Ganymede. I've said this before, Paris Corner, a lot of times, their fragrances are very hit or miss. As far as the big clone houses, they'll sometimes have absolutely banging fragrances, and then sometimes you'll spray them on, it'll be just like the most chemically messy, nasty stuff. This one is solid, this one is confident, but it's not as good as the stuff up above it. Starman Nebula Fragrance World up next. What is that, 40? I should have written down what spots these are. I'm gonna lose my place. 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. This is the first fragrance that I ever bought from Fragrance World. It is a clone of Amen's Pure Malt, or Mugler's Amen Pure Malt, I should say. Amen's Pure Malt. It's good smelling, it's inexpensive, it's just not quite as nice as far as quality compared to all the other stuff. Now this one might be controversial. It is Hunter Intense by Armaf. Now look, as far as compliments go, this one is fantastic. If you're after an all year versatile fragrance that gives you a little bit of Sauvage, a little bit of Invictus, great. But something had to come in this spot, and I put this one here. That's my reasoning. It's not a very good reason, is it? It's solid, it's really good. The next one is going to be this right here. This is Oud for Glory by Lattafa. Now to be fair, this is a very good clone of Oud for Greatness. It is top notch. For me, it's just not a fragrance I want to smell like all that often, which is why it ranks down here. But as far as quality, as far as getting across the fragrance that it smells similar to what it's cloning, this stuff is great. So if you want Oud for Greatness on the cheap, just scoop that up. La Yucawam, the next one by Rasasi. This is also from the way back time of clone fragrances. It smells similar to Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. And this is a great clone of Tuscan Leather. It smells really similar to it. Great quality. The price is a little bit high. It always has been with this one. I think the main issue with this one, the reason that it's a little bit further down here, is not as many people are going for Tuscan Leather nowadays. Not as much as they used to. And clone fragrances fragrances in general have gotten higher quality for lower price. And so where this one has always kind of hovered a little bit more expensive and all the other fragrances have kind of caught up to it, that drops it down. Sweet Heaven Cherry is the next one. This is by Gulf Orchid. So Sweet Heaven Cherry, obviously you can tell by the look here, gonna be more of a Comra, Angel Share type of scent profile, but the big twist, cherry. It's in the name. You get a big blast of that off the top, which gives you a more interesting opening. Some people are gonna really love that change. Other people who are looking for a more traditional Angel Share, Comra, Guy Sassava type scent profile maybe won't like it as much. But I really think it's interesting, it's well done, it's really attention grabbing, and the only reason it's not higher is just there are some insanely heavy hitters coming up. I mean, most people probably already know all of these, and everything above this is just even bigger. So it's like, oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like, what are you gonna swap it with? It's tough. Now, before we head to the next one, which is an insanely inexpensive cologne that smells amazing, I want to give you guys some codes. I don't know what that was. That's a code dance. Also, if you're on TikTok, follow me at Gents Scents. But yeah, these codes you can use across a ton of different websites. Fragflex, the Perfume box. We've got Gift Express, Lucky Scent. So anytime you shop at any of these places, use those codes, save yourself some money. Next fragrance is Fakar Black by Lattafa. Why Eau de Parfum? Right here. And with Fakar Black, this is like one of those fragrances that to me is almost a transitional fragrance to an extent. Like when this came out for the price point, it was just another example of where everything was headed. Cheaper fragrances, higher quality, and it just kind of has snowballed ever since this one and the fragrances that kind of came out around that time frame. So why Eau de Parfum right here, Fakar Black, top-notch stuff, great for all year. Just above that, Offnon's Rare Carbon. So this one is ombre leather, and this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the Rasasi over here, La Yucawam. Ombre leather, a little bit similar to Tuscan leather. So Rare Carbon, a little bit similar to La Yucawam. Again, a little bit, I'm not saying they're the exact same. But the difference in terms of what you pay to get this versus this is pretty significant. So I just had to put this one above that one. And also I think more people would probably find this one a little easier to wear than this one. Not that they're separated by that much, but still. Another Jo Milano up next, Game of Spades Wild Card. So this bottle style of Jo Milano fragrances I think are generally better buys than this bottle style. And I know that like this is a stock bottle and everything, so it's gonna be cheaper to produce than this one because it has this special cap and everything else, but still these are better buys. They're cheaper at discounters. A lot of times they're $20, even $30 less. And I know that doesn't sound like the biggest difference in the world, but when you're talking about multiple fragrances, that adds up. And the quality here is just as good as the quality of what's in here. So these just in general, like I said, a better buy. Wild card is Lafayette Street by Bond Number 9. Great atomizer, great performance, pretty much everything that you would want. The quality here, good. It is, again, gonna be a little more on the expensive side compared to everything else, even though it's cheaper than these. But at least with this one, you feel like you're getting your money's worth. Ooh, I just breathed that in. Paris Corner Mysterium up next. So this one smells similar to Tony Iommi Monkey Special. I think it's really well done. It doesn't have quite the same depth as the Xerjoff, which you would expect. But as far as Paris Corner goes, this is one of their better ones. Then after that, Envy of FOMO by FOMO. This one right here is Gucci Envy, which is one of my favorite fragrances ever. Definitely has more of that throwback masculine style to it compared to more of these newer fragrances. But as far as just like classy, gentlemanly vibes, this stuff is perfect. Nowadays it hovers around $40. When it first came out, it was more expensive. And you can really find this at Fragflex and Fragrance Buy. So you're not gonna find this one as many places as all the others. Rasasi Hawass, my next choice. Now I know some people are gonna be like, nah, Hawass has to be higher. And I get what you're saying, ultra popular, always has been, that's why it's in this list. But for me, when it comes to Hawass, this is a fragrance where I just feel like Rasasi has done this, but better, which is coming up later. It's gonna give you that Invictus type scent profile, you know, that sort of Invictus Aqua vibe. Super wearable, big compliment puller, but everything else above it, I just like a little bit more. Like this one, Art of Universe by Lattafa. This one's Blue Talisman, gonna give you all year versatility and good performance as well. Club de Nuit Intense Man, next up. Now look, if we're talking about the most important clones of all time, this is probably number one. But as far as just wearability versus what else is out there, I can't put it any higher than this because the opening is still kind of harsh. You know, it doesn't smell very expensive. When it dries down, It is great. People love the dry down, but that opening is gonna hold it back. Nitro Elixir, the next one by Dumont. This is my Self Absolute, hence the whole metallic color scheme. Another one that has great performance, year-round usability, big compliment puller, and where this one is a more modern fragrance, they pull it off really well. Marwa by Arabiat Prestige. This one is Imagination by Louis Vuitton. Has maybe a slight touch more of a soapiness to it, but still really well done. And another one with a great atomizer. You can wear this stuff all spring and summer and smell amazing. Alhambra Exclusive Tobacco. This one is Mystery Tobacco by Carolina Herrera. And that stuff is sick. I love Mystery Tobacco. It kind of falls in between Carlisle and Red Tobacco as far as how it smells. And this gives you a very close approximation to that for way less. Another Blue Talisman alternative, this one is Legacy by Maison Asrar. So it's gonna be pretty much, the same thing as this one over here as far as when you would use it, when you would wear it, all that stuff. This one just gives me a little more push, a little more pop, slightly more interesting to the nose. Très Nuit by Armaf, the next one. This is Green Irish Tweed. I know Green Irish Tweed maybe not as popular today as it used to be. We need to bring it back, or bring back the popularity. It still exists. And this is another one of those ones from way back. Like this bottle right here was manufactured in 2015. Still smells great though. It technically expired 5 years ago, but still smells good. Expiration dates don't mean anything. Well, not always, as long as you keep everything nicely contained. Another massive one right here, Detour Noir. Obviously was kind of cheaply made, which you can tell just by looking at it. And the writing on the front of my bottle has flaked off. So now it says Raw D. Roddy. All the other letters are gone. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? This one is Parfums de Marly Layton. It was the first big Layton clone out there, and all things considered, they did a great job, and for how cheap this stuff is, it's still extremely wearable and smells awesome. Mahir Legacy by Lattafa up next. This one is another Parfums de Marly fragrance. This one is Sedley. Wish that the cap held on a little bit better, but what are you gonna do, I guess? It makes a click sound like it's clicking into place. It's not. Faked you out. Another one, super versatile, very wearable. I think it looks kind of hideous, but as far as the fragrance itself, bang for buck through the roof. Next fragrance, gonna go with this one right here, Odyssey Aqua by Armaf. So this one is Invictus Platinum, and it is very, very close. I'm not necessarily in love with Invictus Platinum. I don't think it's like the greatest thing that's ever been made or anything like that. I just think that this is an example of a fragrance that does a clone perfectly. Where most people, when they smell this, they're not going to be able to tell the difference. They won't care, but they're not going to be able to tell even if they did care. And also Invictus Platinum, in case you're unaware, is really similar to Bad Boy Cobalt, the original Cobalt, so you could use this kind of as an alternative to that also. Codlage Island up next. This one is Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau. More specifically, Le Beau Le Parfum, and it is extremely well done as an alternative to that fragrance. Massive compliment puller, very easy to wear, a nice balance of fresh and sweet. Lumiere Garçon up next, another one where the cap does not click into place super snugly, but the fragrance itself, absolutely killer. This one is the One Luminous Night, which if you've been looking for that in the US, sorry, because it's not really been available other than just extremely marked up places for a long time. And this is extremely similar to that fragrance, has maybe a touch more incense, but as far as giving you that vibe of the One Luminous Night on a much more affordable budget, that stuff is great. We have a ton to go, time to speed up. Odyssey Mandarin Sky. Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal on the cheap. I think as far as just the Odyssey fragrances available today, this one is the best one for giving you exactly what you want if you're looking for an alternative to a specific fragrance. Tarothi Blue by Afnan up next. This one gonna give you that Bulgari Tiger kind of feel. Very citrusy, fresh, classy, and sexy. Also very easy to wear. Kind of a dark horse one, Perlador by Barouge. So this right here is Carlisle by Parfums de Marly, and it is almost spot on. I know the bottle doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot. Atomizer is fantastic, and it's not a name that people really know or recognize. It's not Lattafa, Armaf, Fragrance World, stuff like that. But this is way, way, way better than you might expect. Hawass Black up next. This one's similar to Nishane's Hasabat, maybe with a darker twist, hence the name and color scheme and everything. But as far as quality versus price, Hawass Black is top-notch stuff. Just don't spray like clothing with that. Ramad Oriental by Rabiat Prestige. Up next, this one is Outlands by Amouage. This is another example of just how far the quality has come in cologne fragrances. If you were to spray this on and you did not tell somebody what it was, even if they're really into fragrances and you have them smell this, they're gonna think it costs 4 or 5 times what that actually does. Etheric Straight by French Avenue. This is Parfums de Marly's Greenly. Word of advice though, if you get this in sprayed on and it smells like nothing or doesn't smell great off the first rip, let the bottle sit for a while. Mine was atrocious when I first got it in. And then like 2 weeks later, it was fantastic. So a big difference. Lattafa's Assad, this is Sauvage Elixir. And this is gonna be one of the better bang for your buck fragrances out there, period, because you can usually find this for under $20. And obviously gonna give you a very similar feel to Sauvage Elixir. So fall and winter time, absolutely perfect, big attention grabber. 9 p.m. by Afnan up next. Some people might say, oh, 9 p.m., a little boring nowadays. You know, it's been hyped forever. And that is true. This has been talked about to death, but it is still a fragrance that's available for next to nothing, that performs, it projects, it lasts, smells similar to Ultramall by Jean Paul Gaultier. So obviously a big compliment puller, just like the JPG. And you know, it still works. It's just one of those deals. Maybe not the most exciting thing ever when you see 9 p.m., but it just gets the job done. Just like this one, Nitro Red by Dumont. This thing is kind of crazy. Extremely unassuming looking. You look at this and I mean, if you don't know fragrances, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cheap. But it works. It works to the point that other clone houses cloned the clone. Smells similar to Invictus Aqua, kind of in that wheelhouse, with a tiny smattering of Baccarat Rouge 540. Club de Nuit Iconic, the next choice, this by Armaf, of course. So this is gonna be one of the better blue fragrance clones, kind of in a Bleu de Chanel style. So it becomes that type of scent that you can reach for whenever you want. Basically, if you don't wanna pay Chanel prices, but you wanna get similar to Chanel, that's the choice from Armaf. Got this strange bottle up next, La-di-da. We all know what it looks like. It looks like a wizard's tower, right? That's what you were thinking. Saruman. Saruman just chilling up there, or maybe Sauron, I don't know. Saruman and Sauron. They're both chilling together in a pact of evil. What am I talking about? La-di-da Smells Like Myself by YSL with a little bit of Stronger With You Intensely underneath. I really like what it does. It's a nice hybridization and we don't have enough of those going on right now. So to get that one as high quality as it is and have people really enjoy it, maybe that will encourage some of these other houses to do the same thing. Well, not the same fragrances, but similar ideas. You know, like take this, take that, mash it together, get something new. Rayhan Pacific Aura is the next one. This is Pacific Chill, hence the color scheme. And to me, as of right now, this is probably the best Rayhan. The quality is nuts. The presentation looks good. It's got a magnetic cap, everything you want. Very important magnetic cap. Now they have, as of when I'm filming this, come out with like 3 new men's fragrances, but I haven't smelled those yet. They could be better than this one, but as of right now, this is the one. Hawass Ice. You know, I said earlier, Hawass, they did something that was similar but better. It's this. The added freshness, the added briskness just makes this a more appealing fragrance to wear for me than the original Hawass. Gulf Orchid Mango Ice. Next up, this one is God of Fire. There are a ton of God of Fire alternatives out there. This is one of the cheaper ones, but just because it's cheaper does not make it worse, which is why this is up here and this is back here. I think between Roll It One and Mango Ice, both smell fantastic, but this one you can get for like half or less the price of this one, and it does everything just as well. So I'm gonna put that one up here. Detour Noir again, but this one is exclusive. So this one is Leighton exclusive instead of the original Detour Noir, wherever that is the original Leighton. A very slightly nicer presentation with a better atomizer. This is the higher scale Detour Noir. Higher scale, higher class. Supremacy up next, the collector's edition by Afnan. This one is absolute Aventus, and this stuff is just insane. The performance is nuts, quality, compliment factor, everything. You cannot go wrong with this. But I have to put just one spot ahead of that, the Armaf, which is Club de Nuit Limited Edition, or Club de Nuit Intense Limited Edition, or Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition. Much smoother than the original Club de Nuit Intense, just smells higher quality, better put together. Yes, it's more expensive, but it just smells more expensive. Vinino Black is my next choice. Also Mashrabia, I would put basically in the exact same spot. So just kind of think of those two, I guess, together, and they're a couple. This smells like Smokin' Hot from By Killian. The opening is nuts. The apple shisha accord in here, absolutely fantastic. After that, Muharrab by Maison Esrar. This one is Xerjoff Naxos. Also gotta say Fierte Luna, kind of right there with it because this one is Naxos as well. They came out about the same time. But Muharrab is absolutely fantastic. If you want a classy tobacco fragrance, check this stuff out. Royal Blend Nero is next up. This one smells like Gisa Sava. Could also remind you of Kamra. Amazing performance, fantastic quality, big compliment puller, perfect for fall and winter time. Mirage Absolu, also French Avenue. There is an issue with this one. It is like almost always sold out. So be aware of that. If you look for this, there's a good chance that it's sold out everywhere. They need to make more of it. I don't know why they're not making more of it. It's latent exclusive, and it's the best one out there right now for latent exclusive in my opinion. So Mirage Absolu, this stuff, top notch if you can find it. Number 2, Liquid Brune. This is an Altair alternative. It is absolutely killer. So this one is obviously going to be around for a while, and it wouldn't surprise me if there are more flankers down the road for it. Number 1, Kamra. Now to be fair, I would put probably Kamra Dukan right here in first place. The reason that I have the original Kamra here is because this right here changed a lot. It is nuts how popular and successful this is, and so many different clone houses have come out with their versions of this fragrance. So even though I think it's been improved upon with the 2 flankers that came after it, Kamra Kawa and Dukan, I have to give props to the original. So put that in first. Whew. There we go, 50 clones, worst to best. But again, all of these are great in their own ways. And I think you could ask 100 people to do this and you would have 100 different variations. Nobody's going to agree on all of this. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me here until the end. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.